Hi everybody, it's me, Carolyn the Healthy Voyager, and today we are making homemade almond milk. And the reason I've started to make my own nut milks is because A, it's cheaper, and B, it's healthier for you because you know exactly what's going into your beverage. A lot of the times for shelf life they put all kinds of preservatives and things like that and sugar that you don't want in your beverage, so you can make it at home. It's super easy and it's technically the same for any sort of nut milk that you're going to make. So we're making almond milk. The first step in making any sort of nut milk is to soak your nuts overnight. You do this with nuts and seeds because the nuts themselves in the growing stages, they have enzyme inhibitors, and when we eat raw nuts or seeds, it's very hard to digest. It's very tough on our digestive system. So that's the reason for soaking any sort of nuts when you're going to make anything, be it nut milk or a sauce or whatever. So that takes away the enzyme inhibitors and makes it easier for us to digest. So I did these nuts for about 6 hours today. 4 to 6 hours overnight is fine too. Once you've drained them, so you submerge the nuts completely, let them soak for 4 to 6 hours, if not overnight. Drain completely so they're dry. 1 cup of nuts to 3 parts water. So that's the very simpleness to it, and then I'll show you the other little tricks to make it tasty. So you just, in a regular blender, if you're lucky enough to have a killer Vitamix, that's awesome, but I don't. So I'm using my regular nice little blender. And this may, you know, if you want to double the recipe, this will last you, the double recipe will last you over a week. Alright, so 1 cup nuts, 3 cups water. I like to use vanilla powder to make mine a vanilla almond milk. I would prefer to use vanilla bean, organic vanilla bean, but vanilla beans are really expensive. 1 bean's like 10 bucks. So again, because we're going on the cheap and making our almond milk at home, I use vanilla powder, which is the next best thing. I don't like to use vanilla extract only because most vanilla extracts have alcohol in it. So trying to keep it healthy, I'm doing the next best thing to a raw vanilla bean. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla powder does the trick, and I'm doing it over my bowl and not in my blender. Oh, see, because then that happens. Now I don't have too much vanilla, so 1 teaspoon is plenty. And if you want it a little sweet, do it to your preference of sweetness. I like to use agave, and I use somewhere between 2 and 4 tablespoons depending on how sweet I want it. So there's my agave. And you can also use dates for diabetics, low glycemic. You can use dates. And again, it's to your liking. There's no real reason to go overboard if you don't have sweet taste buds, but I do. And there you go. That's pretty much it as far as what goes into your blender. So this is going to get a little loud for a second. We are going to turn it on and we're going to liquefy. And the soaking also makes them a lot softer, so it's easier to blend. All right, here we go. All right, so that about does it. I do a little extra to get every little bit out of the nut, but yeah, it's liquefied just enough. All right, now here is where a little bit of technique comes in, because obviously there's a lot of little pieces of almond in there, right? So you can either use a cheesecloth. I'm actually using a eco recycling bag, eco produce bag by Essie. Their produce bag, their reusable produce bag works well as my strainer. So I have a long neck glass bottle. I always put all my beverages in glass. And that's my improv strainer. All right, so all you do is pour, and you know, it might take, depending on your size of your jar and your strainer, you may have to, you know, do this little by little, especially if you're doubling the recipe. But I'll show you, and you should absolutely do this with clean hands. You're going to milk your bag a little bit. And just make sure you get all the yummy juice out. All right, and you can use a spoon if you want. But now, one thing you can do with the almond rinds is save them for later to make pie crusts, or you can compost it if you want. I actually save mine in the fridge for pie crust, and when I've already put the agave in there, it's already sweet, so you know, put that with a little bit of earth balance and you can make an awesome almond pie crust, gluten-free almond pie crust. So easy peasy. Make two things at once, pie crust and homemade almond milk. So this is essentially it. You strain your milk through the cheesecloth or my cheesy recycle bag, and there you go. That's the gist of it. Like I said, if you double the recipe, you can fill up your jar and it lasts about a week. And depending on how many folks live at your home, it might not last you about a week, but technically 1 cup of almonds to 3 cups of filtered healthy water, a little bit of vanilla powder, and a little bit of sweet stuff if you want, and that's pretty much it. There you go. You can do this with almonds, you can do this with cashews. When I do cashew milk, I like to put a little cinnamon in it, and it's great with oatmeal or quinoa. Yummy, yummy stuff. So very easy. The recipe is on the site, and enjoy your homemade nut milk.